Walter Raleigh. Walter Raleigh was an adventurer, courtier to Elizabeth I, navigator, author, and poet. Walter Raleigh was born into a well connected gentry family at Hayes Barton in Devon around 1552. He attended Oxford University for a time, fought with the Huguenots in France, and later studied law in London. In 1578, Raleigh sailed to America with explorer Sir Humphrey Gilbert, his half brother. This expedition may have stimulated his plan to found a colony there. In 1585, he sponsored the first English colony in America on Roanoke Island, now North Carolina. The settlement failed, and another attempt at colonization also failed in 1587. Raleigh has been credited with bringing potatoes and tobacco back to Britain, although both were already known via the Spanish. Raleigh did help to make smoking popular at court. Raleigh first came to the attention of Elizabeth I in 1580 when he went to Ireland to help suppress an uprising in Munster. He soon became the Queen's favourite and was knighted and appointed captain of the Queen's Guard. He became a member of Parliament in 1584 and received extensive estates in Ireland. In 1592, the Queen discovered Raleigh's secret marriage to one of her maids of honour, Elizabeth Throckmorton. This discovery threw Elizabeth into a jealous rage, and Raleigh and his wife were imprisoned in the Tower. On his release, in an attempt to find favour with the Queen, he set off on an unsuccessful expedition to find El Dorado, the fabled Golden Land, rumoured to be situated somewhere beyond the mouth of Orinoco River in Guyana. Elizabeth's successor, James I of England and VI of Scotland, disliked Raleigh, and in 1603 he was accused of plotting against the king and sentenced to death. This was reduced to life imprisonment, and Raleigh spent the next 12 years in the Tower of London, where he wrote the first volume of his History of the World. In 1616, Raleigh was released to lead a second expedition to search El Dorado. The expedition failed, and Raleigh also defied the king's instructions by attacking the Spanish. The death sentence was reinstated on his return to England, and Raleigh's execution took place on 29 October 1618. After 1618, his occasional writings were collected and published, often with little discrimination. The authenticity of some minor works attributed to him is still unsure. Some 560 lines of verse in his hand are preserved. They address the Queen as Cynthia and complain of her unkindness, probably concerning his imprisonment of 1592. His major works include The Discovery of Guyana, a report to the truth of the fight about Isles of Acheris this last summer, and The History of the World. Raleigh's poetry is written in the relatively straightforward, unornamented mode known as the plain style. C.S. Lewis considered Raleigh one of the era's silver poets, a group of writers who resisted the Italian Renaissance influence of dense classical reference and elaborate poetic devices. His writing contains strong personal treatments of themes such as love, loss, beauty, and time. Most of his poems are short lyrics that were inspired by actual events. In poems such as What is Our Life and The Lie, Raleigh expresses a contemptus mundi or contempt of the world attitude, more characteristic of the Middle Ages than of the dawning era of humanistic optimism. The Ocean's Love to Cynthia combines this vein with the more elaborate conceits associated with his contemporaries, Edmund Spenser and John Donne, expressing a melancholy sense of history. The poem was written during his imprisonment in the Tower of London. The nymph's reply to the shepherd. Raleigh wrote a poetic response to Christopher Marlowe's The Passionate Shepherd to His Love, entitled The Nymph's Reply to the Shepherd. Both were written in the style of traditional pastoral poetry and follow the structure of 6 4-line stanzas, employing a rhyme scheme of AABB, with Raleigh's an almost line-for-line refutation of Marlowe's sentiments. Years later, the 20th century poet William Carlos Williams would join the poetic argument with his Raleigh was right.